Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the show. Don't have much planned for today, just kind of chilling out. Going to talk about whatever comes up. So, if you guys got questions, just throw them on in over to chat, and we'll see what we can get as far as things to talk about. Exciting stuff. Grand Arena changes coming up. Going to be live on the next 3v3. Kind of wishing that we didn't have so much 3v3. I don't mind the 3v3 game mode. I just don't want it all the time. But looks like not going to be a choice. Looks like we're going to have it all the time. So let me know what you guys think of 3v3. If you like the game mode or if you think it's kind of not as fun as 5v5, where you guys are at on it. All right, Alpha Male, cool. Got our first sticker. Whoa, look at that. Check that out. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Griff says hello there. Thoughts on the new requirement for 4 ships in GAC? So the 4 ship thing is not a new requirement. The people who are at that galactic power already have 4 ships in Grand Arena. So they just moved it down to a point where, the 4 ships comes around. It may come a little bit sooner in galactic power than it did on the old schedule, but not too much. So yeah, I think the 4 ship thing is good. I definitely think placing 2 ships on defense and having 2 for offense is a good thing for Grand Arena. Too many people ignore the ships in the game, and I think it allows those people that pay attention to ships to have some kind of advantage on the field. So at least with the 4 ships, if you've got so many fleets that your best 2 defenses are going to hold up against him, and you've still got offense in the tank, that's a good position to be in. And then you can really go for holds on your on your ship node. Joey says, I like 5v5 better, but 3v3 is all right. Mithri says, maybe you want to confirm. My guild does get some watt shards, but they don't really care about tickets. Time to move on, right? So that's up to you. And everybody has to find a guild that meets what they want to do. And if you want to be in a guild that has strict rules and requirements for participation and all that because that's how you want to play, then find yourself a guild that plays the same way. 22,000 tickets a day isn't horrible. I mean, it's not bad. But if you're at the point where you need watt shards and you need a lot of them and you want to start getting into challenge tier rancor, then that's what you need to look at. You need to say, okay, well, I'm probably not going to get the C pit in the guild that I'm in, and they're not getting that many watt shards, so then it's time to move on. But yeah, I mean, that's all up to your play style and what you're getting out of your guild. And I think we've given a lot of people the advice to go looking on that website, and a lot of players have reported back that they were very surprised at how big of a guild that they could get into without too much of an application process. So just think about that. There's a lot of guilds that are between 250 and 300 million that are just looking for good players. They're looking for players that are going to participate in everything, get 600 tickets a day, and give, a good, honest attempt to build teams for the challenge tier rancor. So most people, if you get in there and you say, hey, I've got a team for a watt shard, I get my 600 tickets every day, and I've got at least one good team for the C pit, I mean, people are surprised. Hey, I'm only 1.6 million GP, and I got into this, 290 million GP guild, just based on that, just having one rancor team and good commitment to participation. So yeah, I think that's the determining factor for you. If the guild doesn't match your style, move on. Or if you don't like the people, I mean. Honestly, there's a lot of good guilds out there. There's got to be a few where the people are just not friendly or not getting along with you. But but yeah, that's the other reason I would move guilds is if I just didn't find it a good community. I would go look for a better community. Started an alt with my main focus being fleet before level 60, and my Galactic War is a nightmare. At least I'm top 10 in fleet for 4 or 5 days now. That's actually what I did on my Loquitur account too. I didn't build the Phoenix. I just said, to heck with it. I'm going to build pilots. Then I started building all the pilots that I wanted to work with right from the start. And I did Galactic War with a pilot team. But if you do that and you have Kylo Ren unmasked as one of your pilots, you're still okay. Because early game, he's such an effective tank that you can get through most of your Galactic War every day just with him as a tank soaking up all the hits. And then you put a few good characters behind him and you're okay. But yeah, it's Galactic War is a Phoenix kind of thing, you know. If you build Phoenix early, you can do Galactic War becomes much easier. Especially if you do Geos. Once you get the Geo Brood Alpha, you never lose Galactic War again. You just close it out, and then you get, once you've got 50 wins, you go into Sim mode, and you don't ever have to worry about the Galactic War again. But yeah, early game, the Phoenix do well over there, and the pilot teams that we built, not so easy. The 3v3 isn't bad. The change is nice, and having to think about teams is cool. I've been watching the live streams after the fact and super excited about the new free-to-play guides. First time catching a live stream while it happened. Well, welcome, Richard. Glad you could join us. Usually the streams are more exciting. We've got an agenda. We've got a grand arena to do. That's not the case today. There's no grand arena going on. So we're just kind of chilling out today, answering questions. Love the new player guide. I'm going to divert from what I was doing to follow it. Yeah, so I mean, the new player guide is really about just optimizing the early teams in a way that lets you play the most of the game with the easiest teams, and set yourself up for fleet, set yourself up for guild participation, and then it's a launch pad for what comes next for sure. I found the majority of people that play this game are super nice and cool. Joey, that's really true. I mean, I've played a lot of games, and the community that's built up around this Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game is really good. There's really a lot of cool and interesting people out there, and there's a lot of games out there that even some communities that I've participated in before that are just caustic. Everybody's trying to take advantage of everybody else, and there's like just people attacking each other, and doesn't build for good gameplay. Now, I've actually seen that before in Swigo as well, and I've heard horror stories about people who join the shard chat for Squad Arena, and normally it should be, okay, when's your payout, and we'll put your name up on a board, and then people just generally stay out of your way. And if there's 3 people on the same payout, you just don't hit those same people, and you do your climb. And if somebody else got to number 1 before you, you just leave them alone. But I've heard some chats that are organized, and they invite you in, and they just basically tell you, we're organized, and these are the top 20 people that get the top 20. You're not in that top 20. You're going to get top 50, between 50 and 20. But, if you beat anybody in the top 20 and you're not permitted to, we're just going to, pound you down till you're number 500. And it's just a weird thing to think that there's some shard chats that develop like that. And maybe people are making up stories, but I guess there's some out there that aren't very friendly. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Pretty good community we got going on here. Vader and Boba destroy me because Boba ignores taunt and Vader AoE debuff. Yeah. Okay, in the Galactic War you're talking about? Do you let people know when you have an account review coming up? So typically we do try to let people know. I'm trying to get more organized about selecting the people that I do account reviews ahead of time and organizing with them that their account review is going to be on the live stream. I haven't prepared anything for today, so if we do an account review, it'll just be, off the back of the hand. But we do try to let people know when there's a review coming up. Doesn't always work out that way, and if you can't join live, then you can always see the video. So not perfect, but we're still working on it. So is the priority team you listed in part 3 of the main team you should be using for everything like Squad and Galactic War? So the Geos, the reason I put that team as a priority is because I already anticipate how many people are going to say, you want to 7-star the Phoenix, you don't need to start the Geos this early, you did blah, blah, blah. The reason I put that priority team up there is because as soon as level 60 hits, you want to already have the soldier, the spy in excellent shape. You want Sunfac to be up and coming. You want your Poggle to be established to a point where you don't have to go back to the Galactic War store and fight between ships and Poggle. You just want to build those Geo ships and build that Sunfac and just dominate, strong arm that fleet arena from the moment that it opens up. And I think if people get distracted by the fact that there's 4 teams and they start building Anakin and they start worrying about, getting their Phoenix to 7 stars and unlocking Thrawn and unlocking Palpatine, and we'll start working on those characters, and then level 60 hits and you've got like a 4-star soldier. That's not where you need to be. You need to have a 7-star soldier, 6 stars at least, and just jam him into that ship and start dominating fleet arena as soon as possible. And because of that, those characters may be your biggest characters and they may be your squad arena. And that's what I did for a long time. I literally had my pilot team as my arena team because it was just the characters that I'd put the most effort into. So it was Ahsoka Tano, the Geos, and Kylo Ren Unmasked, because that's where I was putting my effort for fleet to get that early game fleet dominance. And yeah, so then my squad arena just became that. But that's not, you're not building those characters to be your squad arena. They just happen to be there because it's your best team. And the Phoenix actually have good enough synergy that early on, and that's why I say the Cantina refreshes are so effective early on, because if you have your Phoenix team and let's say some other players may only have 6-star, 5-star Phoenix at that point, but if you can go into the Cantina and make sure that your Hera and your Ezra Bridger are both 7 stars, you can also get a leg up in squad arena for a long time until other players catch up. So those early Cantina refreshes really make a huge difference, and that allows you to get your pilots up and running faster as well. So that's it. That's a bit how that works out. What items do you think are good to request from guildmates? Oh, that's a good question. I'll answer that. Okay, let's see if there's other good questions over here. Do you have any Discord servers to search for a good guild? Yeah, absolutely. So if you go into our Discord, you'll see right away that in the guild recruitment there's a link to a server there. And you just go in there and you sign up as a player looking for a guild, and you can put in applications. And also guilds are looking at who's on there as a player looking for a guild. So you might even get some personal messages from people saying, hey, if you're looking for a guild, here's what we've got. And you might get scouted. So you just get yourself on that website, and that'll help you out. All right, so what do I think that people should request from guilds? So there's a few things that you need early game, especially, I always recommend get into a good guild as soon as you can, which means a lot of times, at 1,000,000 galactic power, you're going to be in a guild with a lot of people that have better accounts than you. That's kind of the target. That's what you want to do. And early game, there's these comm links. There's both Mark 4 and Mark 3 comm links. I'm trying to think of who might have a Mark 3 comm link that we have to look at. Maybe Ezra. So the Mark 3 comm link is something that later in the game you have a ton of, and early game you just don't. You just don't have them. So yeah, I can't see it. Maybe we just go over to the Scavenger. That might be easier. But this Mark 3 comm link right here, this guy, that's something that unless you're farming a specific node that has the comm link on it, you're going to find yourself short on those early game. But if you request these, most players later in the game have plenty of them to spare, and you'll get those every day. The Mark IV as well, and people need the Mark IVs, and they don't give them up as easily. But that's another one that you can do sometimes. I wouldn't do it every day because people will run out of spares to give you, and then it just feels kind of greedy at that point. This guy should have one, right? No. Wherever my Kylo Ren unmasked is. I think I've taken him out of my favorites. Let me check here. Yeah, there he is. So he's got the Mark IV comm link here. That's another one that you can request. The other one that I request all the time on my main account is this data pad, this Mark V data pad. And I request it all the time just because it goes for bronzium wiring. I'm always out of bronzium wiring. And these Mark V data pads, a lot of people have some of them. And you can get 10 of them for every request. And they break down for bronzium. So that's another one that I request all the time out of the guild. But yeah, especially on the main account, most of the time I'm just requesting materials that go straight to the Scavenger. I'm not requesting gear up materials. I'm just trying to make it so that I don't have to farm farm as many of the relic mats. All right, I'll put this back up as a reminder because I see we've got a lot of people over here and not too many likes going on. But yeah, so there's also some detonators, some Mark V detonators, some things like that you can request from the guild. I just think, stun guns, stun cuffs, carbantes, those are kind of the 3 that you don't really want to ask for because everybody else needs those too, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel very good asking your guild mates for stuff that they would need. All right. Hi, Loquitur. I enjoyed the first 3 of the beginner's guide, waiting for the 4th. Yeah, it's going to take me a minute to get the rest of that videos in that series going. In the future, it'll be nice because people who see the initial videos will then, already have the follow-up videos there. For anybody who's just like watching them as they come out, it's going to be a few weeks before I can get all 4 of these follow-up guides out. So have a little patience with me. I'm a slow YouTuber because I've got a life and a job, and I can only put out content at a certain rate for what I've got for spare time. So it's not the greatest thing for you guys as a community, but I'm doing the best I can. So. And I want them to be good quality. I want these to be videos that 6 months from now people can still watch and find them to be accurate for the current state of the game. Who you farming for the double drops in the cantina? Well, I tell you guys this several times, like over and over. I don't do anything different for double drops. Whatever is my project, I'm doing my project. So on the Loquitur account, I'm trying to get Harrison Dula to 7 stars, finish out my Phoenix, get the Thrawn event done. So what am I farming in Cantina? Harrison Dula. It's the exact same thing that I would be doing with my Cantina currency anyway. It just so happens that I'm getting twice as much benefit for doing it than I normally would. So that's my outlook on it. I just do the same things that I always would do anyway. I just get twice as much of it. Yeah, it's like 2 days worth of farming in 1 day. So double drops to me, it's not. It's simply that. The math is simply that. You do 2 days worth of Cantina farming in 1 day. That's all it is. It doesn't change what you should do. It doesn't change the outlook for your account. You shouldn't just go after a character because it's double drop day. You just get 2 days worth of farming done in one day. That's what you should do. My opinion, anyway. I'm guessing Moff Gideon is the lead of that team since it meets the criteria for his passive. Okay, not sure what that comment's about. Oh, for the priority team, for the priorities team. Huh. Okay, I don't know exactly where we're going with that one. Let's see what else we got. Request Mark 1 stun cuffs and Mark 2 data pads and farm 7B for the Baw armor salvage. Yeah, so what Bazinga is saying here, the Mark 1 stun cuffs are used in the a trick that we do with Ugnaught, right? So if we go into the Scavenger, and this is all in the videos, and you guys hopefully have seen this by now, but for chromium transistors, there's this Baw armor here, and in order to make that, you need these Mark 1 stun cuffs and Mark 2 data pads. So typically, what I've seen is that you're limited on these Mark 1 stun cuffs, most of all. Because as he said in the chat, these are going to come from the 7B node where we farm the Chirotechs anyway. So this 7B light side node right here where we farm Chirotechs, we get these armor bits. So you can get those, and then you'll just run out of these Mark 1 stun cuffs. So if you request those, then you can craft a bunch of these Baw armor, and you just, take those. Then you go back to your Scavenger, and you put those through the Scavenger, and you get a really awesome conversion rate for that. And then on the same Ugnaught, you can also do this Blast Tech weapon mod. Why is that not showing up? What did I do wrong here? All right, let's just go back to our Ugnaught. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Come on now. So if you go to Ugnaught, there's also Blast Tech. Okay, it's a Mark 7 Blast Tech. So this is the same way. I mean, this is an easy thing to craft, and it goes for the same exchange rate as the chromium, the Baw armor. So Ugnaught gives you like a 2-for-1 sale. Either one of those pieces that you manufacture gives you tons of chromium transistors. And if you know that trick and you use those two items, you'll never be at a loss for transistors and Scavenger. So the Mark 1 stun cuffs can be a pretty good thing to ask for out of the guild requests. The Mark 3 detonators. Biscuit says, I don't donate Mark 4 comm links. I need them for a lot of characters. Yeah, I'm just saying, Biscuit, I'm just saying that sometimes if you're in a guild with a lot of higher level characters, some people will donate them. You get them sometimes. Sometimes the request doesn't get full. But if you only request them like once a week, then people don't mind giving them to you. If you request like Mark 4 comm links every day, then what you find is after a few days, people run out of, like, let's say spares, and you don't get any anymore. Going to get my first relic in 2 weeks, Darth Revan. Your first relic is going to be Darth Revan. That's nice. That's a good character to relic. Week 28 progress was the best video you made. Oh, okay. What was that? Was that the one where I did like all kinds of stuff in the same week? Had like a whole bunch of account development. Oz the Bard, are you going to do an account analysis? Probably. We'll see. I was kind of surprised to see Gideon as such a high priority since he's a single shard drop. The thing about Gideon, though, is he can go anywhere. You can put a Gideon in just about any team, and Demoralize does something for you. So that's the thing with Gideon, is just his flexibility. You don't have to put him into a troopers team for him to be good. You can put him in I mean, heck, you can even put him in a team like this, like a Padme team or a Jedi team or almost anything, anywhere that you just want to control the opponent's damage, and he'll do good work for you. All right, let's see. We'll do some squad arena here real quick. Got to try to get. Work has been crazy, and I haven't been able to get in and get my squad arena or my fleet arena reliably in this last week. And it is amazing how much crystal currency you lose just if there's a couple days where you don't get your full payouts. So yeah, I'm going on about 4 or 5 days now where I haven't got my full payouts on either one of my accounts, and it's it drains the old crystal bank in a hurry. So I got to try to at least get some kind of placement today. Let's check out this other account. Oh, looks like I got to reset my blue stacks here. Hang on a second, folks. That didn't work. I'll do it this way. Okay. So we can go over to this account, see what we got in squad over here. I've been trying to practice my C matchups, and I got to get better at the C versus SLKR. And right now it's kind of a 70-30. Pretty reliably can get the SLKR down. But if I can't get the armorer to go off, then I struggle in those matchups. So still trying to figure out exactly how to get the best result there. Against C teams, better off just taking the SLKR team. So even though we're practicing the matchup the other way around, when we have to fight this matchup, it's better to fight it with the SLKR team. Let me just put it in auto and let them figure out what to do against the Sith Eternal. Something that I'm struggling with is gear 12 takes a lot of time, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. The account's 4 months old, by the way. So gear 12, and that's something that's kind of been surprising to me on the Loquitur account as well. So I don't remember gear 12 being that big of a barrier, but playing the game over again with the double shard drops, being able to get that character to 7 stars sooner means that you can take advantage of the shard shop sooner. And gear 12 for me is a lot about using the shard shop in the right way. Gear 13 is a lot about using the shard shop. So if we go and take a look at, let's see some characters that need gear 12. Like this Brood Alpha needs gear 12, and it's just a lot of stun guns and back to gels. So once we decide that we want to really go for this, let's see what we got here. We would need more of the biotech implants. So what I do on my account, what you guys see me doing, is I just wait. You know, I don't go force farm this stuff. I'm just waiting on the characters. Veers, I will want to get to gear 12 because I want to relic him. But that just means that I'll get the next stun gun. Will go on him. And then I've got the other gear. Just over time, it's built up in the account. I just don't use it on other characters. Careful about what buttons I click. And then the shard shop, you do get some opportunities in the shard shop. And let's say you need these Mark 7 salvages like this. You could pick them up out of the shard shop. So this part of the shard shop helps you with a bunch of key gear. You can get this salvage, and it's not as good of a conversion rate, I don't think, to buy these 2 items. But if you're just trying to gear 12 a character and this shows up in the shop, you should buy it. The Mark 5 droid collars here cost like 420 for 3 of them or something. So I would caution you against buying that. But that's a key part of where you get your gear. And then this is another part of Gear 12 that hangs people up. You get these droid collar salvages and the other types, the Mark 5 furnace, the Mark 6 Nubian disc, and the Mark 7 Nubian scanner. And they all show up here in the guild store. And you got to wait. If you need these items, say I've got 139 in the bank, so I'm not so anxious to get more of them. But if you don't have enough of these items right here to get your Gear 12, you should not spend this currency on anything except these pieces of gear. So that's the fourth row down, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows down. The first 2 pieces right here in the 4th row, those are the raid gear that you need for Gear 12, and that's what can hang you up at Gear 11, Gear 12 a lot, is waiting on these pieces. So if you don't have enough of those pieces, you shouldn't be buying characters, you shouldn't be buying other stuff out of this shop until you have enough of these in the bank to be able to do what you want to do. I hope that helps. All right. Should be utilized. Darth Vader says shard shop currency for Gear 12 pieces. Yeah. So Oz says, how can I deal with the old Squad Arena shard and old Fleet Arena shard that I'm in? Well, Oz, are you? Help me understand. Did you start the game, left the game, came back later, and then now you've got an old shard arena and Squad Arena? Some people have asked that on the channel, and the advice that I've given is, if you have an old account, you left the game for a year, now you came back, everybody's way past you, and you really can't get a foothold on anything, start a new account, And if your old account is like 3 million galactic power, play both. But, start a new account, continue to play your old account. Do that for a couple of months, and then you'll know. You'll know whether or not it's worth it for you to continue playing your old account, or whether you feel like the new account is more fun. You get to 85, you realize how much more of an advantage you've got, and you say, okay, that's what I want to do. So, if you're a returning player, I would say that's the outlook. All right. I'm number 2 in fleets on the Loquitur account, and there's this guy, Gungnir, who's he's eclipsed us all. He went for Relic 7 on everything for Rebels right away. Look at this, Relic 7 Bigs. Relic 7's on the Han and Chewie. So this is a fight you cannot win. But every day I go in there and I try to chip away at it and just see if there's some hope that maybe I'll be able to get first in fleet. There's, I think, 1 or 2 guys in the shard that can beat him. So if one of them has beaten him and has the top spot, then we can get in here and get the top spot from them. But that's the issue right there. With that mass assist, he pretty much always kills my Sunfac with that mass assist. And then I'm behind the 8 ball from there on out and just can't finish him off. Too much good stuff. Yeah. So that's it. That's how this battle goes. Unfortunate. Let's see. Let's get our Anakin in here. See what we can do with our 1 ship versus 4. Doesn't seem very promising, does it? All right. Okay. Nothing. Got nothing against this guy. It's too much. Overpowered. Griff says, as someone who left for a while and was way behind in Squad Arena, you want to keep the account focused on some good teams, Negotiator Malevolence for Fleet, and DR Gas or Galactic Legend in the arena. It might take a while, but that's how you catch up. Yeah, exactly. Once you have a Galactic Legend, it doesn't matter whether you were behind or not. Once you have like an SLKR or a SEE, then you can compete for your spot in the arena. That's why I said, play both accounts, and if you see that you're getting into a position that you like in the old account, then by all means continue. I really did enjoy your new player guide. Can you explain why we need the Ahsoka ship at 4 stars? I don't know why. You need the Ahsoka ship at 5 stars. 5 stars on the Ahsoka ship. So we'll go into that here in a second. Let's see. We need to do a couple quick squad battles and get the timers back down, and then we'll answer that question. This trooper team is nasty. Look at this thing. We've got a Revan team that we could maybe beat. I don't know. Let's go see what we can do against Revan. We got to get rid of Anakin as soon as we can, and we have to deal with Savior, which is going to be interesting. All right. Let's get in here. Anakin got stunned, so we couldn't get rid of all their buffs right away. So now Kenobi got killed. All right, now we're in trouble. Let's kick this Anakin, see if we can got the Savior at least, and that way when we kill Yoda, we can keep Yoda dead. Now we got to go on Bindo. Ugly. Nope. Not going to get this one. Close, though. Close. If we had another relic character, if we had maybe the Padme relic or the Kenobi relic, we might be able to deal with that. But we're in top 100, so it's not... we don't have to win. We're just practicing matchups and trying to get better at what we're doing. Guys, if you got 5 attempts and you can do the 5 attempts... even if you're not necessarily going to improve your, you're not going to improve your position that much, you still want to play out your attempts. You still want to practice your matchups. All right. So the Ahsoka ship question. The key to understanding all of that is the 4 5s, 5 6s, 6 4s, 5 8s, and it's very complicated. So you got to talk through it slowly, right? And this is what hung me up, because just suffice to say, to get the Tier 3 material challenge in Fleet, you need to have 6 ships at 5 stars. Any 6 ships at 5 stars. What I did not remember correctly from the first time around was that you only can do that event with the Executrix capital ship, and your capital ship has to be 5 stars to do that challenge. In order to get the Executrix capital ship to 5 stars, you need 5 dark side ships at 4 stars. So that's the issue. And let's say those 5 dark side ships are the 2 Geos, the Vulture droid, and you build the TIE fighter just because it's easy to get shards and get that to whatever star level you want, and you don't care. You're just building stars to have your 5th 4-star dark side ship. Because you only need 5 dark side ships, and you're kind of limited out on what ships you get, when you get to the actual challenge itself, where you need 6 5-star ships, you need another ship somewhere in there. So you've got your 3 Geos, you got your Vulture droid at 5 stars, you've taken your TIE fighter to 5 stars just to have another 5-star ship, and then you need any one other 5-star ship. And Ahsoka is a character that we're going to want to build someday. So building Ahsoka's ship is easy. It shows up all the time in the shops. So that's the reason why you need that Ahsoka ship. All right. Darth Vader says, I think I've asked this before, but I'm at a crossroads with farming another Galactic Legend, farming up a bounty hunter team, but should I work on JML, considering I have a lot of the relics and close to the requirements? So Darth Vader wants an account review. Interesting. Okay. Why does your Anakin go before your Padme? Because he's relict and Padme's not, and that gives him an additional 20 speed. And I just don't have great mods in these characters yet. I mean, it's a early game account. Some of my best mods, I've been farming a lot of speed mods and trying to get my speed game going. So a lot of my best mods are speed mods. And I don't have Padme kitted out with the very best of the best as far as mods go. So we'll improve that as time goes on, but for right now we're just getting by. Putting our good mods on our troopers, putting our good mods on in this case some of our Geos because they're our pilots. All right. Now Kenobi's in the way. Come on, Kenobi, sit down. Okay. Now we got to deal with gas a second time. All right, let's just shoot the gun into the air. We'll stun up some gas. We'll take away some protection again here in a second if I can. All right. Can't dodge when you're stunned, Anakin. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do here? We'll just do the sweep. See if we can get rid of this 5s. Savior is gone now, so we don't have to worry about Savior. Just go into the alt next turn. That should kill a couple people. But not the 5s. This 5's going for days. Look at this guy. Look at this 5s. It's crazy. We're not too worried, though. Just a matter of time before this General Skywalker falls to the might of the First Order. We'll just keep him stunned. Or dead. Plo shows up frequently as well, but Plo is not a character that we're planning to build. So we're not, in the early game build, Plo is a Cantina character or he's out of the fleet store, and we really want the fleet store to be focused on the ships and the Geos and all that stuff. So especially very early game, we just want the Ahsoka ship because it's easy. It's a no-brainer, and the Plo is a better ship to build at some point for reinforcement. But with all the competition that we've already got for those early game resources, you're better off just throwing an Ahsoka in there, being done with it. All right, let's go over to fleet with Allura. Ships, what do we got here? Darth Bongo. Work through that. Bookish Jungle's in the house. Amen. You also recommend to farm Boba and Newt. Should I just unlock them or get them to 7 stars? Because I want to finish my Phoenix on 7 stars first. So neither one of those should compete directly with your Phoenix, right? The Newt comes out of the squad store, and you have to have Kanan and Jarrus out of the squad store. So yeah, I mean, unlock the Newt, get him to like 4 or 5 stars. It's pretty easy. And then Oh, that was no good. Too much damage. Yeah, so you want to get your newt unlocked. You don't necessarily have to get the newt to 7 stars right away. And you do want to prioritize the Phoenix. You just want the newt to be big enough that you can get that credit heist done, at least to level 2. So you'll need some gear, you'll need some effort put into your newt just to make sure that you can get those things done early game. Because it's really a lot of currency. I didn't pay as much attention to it as I should have on my Loquitur account, and at some point, you're just missing out on too much good stuff. So you do have to kind of circle back around, or in my case, I had to circle back around and pay attention to that and get that going. Okay, we're too early to do the big hit. We're not going to get a reinforcement. We'll just do it. Get the foresight going. All right. Now we should be able to finish off this Anakin. Back in the game. Now we've got this to deal with. That skill, just the fact that it gets days on all your characters. Yeah, I've heard you complain about that skill before. It's just too much stuff. Too much stuff in one skill in this negotiator. It's a hit from the ship. It's 2 assists. It's days on all your characters, and it puts a buff on your own guys. It's just crazy. It's too much for one skill. Nuts what they gave that skill. Finish off this Hound's Tooth. And it's all over but for the crying at this point. We'll put that on our shuttle. So even though we kind of had a bobble against that Anakin and we killed him too soon there early, we'll still come around right in the end. Alright, well, Plo can die then. If he's really so anxious to jump in front of the freight train, let him do it. Pull an assist here. Should be good. Get that damage ramped up on that silencer, and it's sickening how much damage that guy does. Alright, so hopefully we got the questions answered about the Ahsoka ship. About the newt. What is the best Galactic legend in your opinion? All of them. They're all the best Galactic legend in their own right. And I know people are going to disagree with that. SLKR is flexible, right? He can anything that you want to do with SLKR, he can do well. You put him somewhere and fine, he's good at it. Rey is excellent as a defensive character for Grand Arenas and other game modes like that where you want defense. She's second to none. I mean, some of her teams are just debilitating how strong they are. And unless you have a very specific counter that's going to help you beat that Rey team, she's going to stand. So in that regard, Rey, if what you want is an awesome defense in Grand Arena that almost can't be beat, Rey could be the best Galactic legend. For Sith Eternal Emperor, if you get the armor and Wat Tambor's buffs on him, can beat pretty much anything the game has to offer. So again, if you're looking for some kind of counter where you say, okay, I want to be able to maybe beat that Rey team, then Sith Eternal is going to potentially be the answer for that. And again, in that right, could be the best in the game. Jedi Master Luke himself as a Galactic legend is kind of lackluster, I think. You look at him and it's like, he should do more. But once you pair him up with characters like Jedi Knight Luke and, Jedi Knight Revan, the character's kit makes those characters even better and harder to deal with. And then, again, that becomes a team that can deal with almost anything. So you put the Jedi Master Luke often on offense, and you just come in you put ability blocks all over everything, and nobody can ever take a turn. And Jedi Knight Luke, if they're not a Galactic Legend, slows him down, and even if they are, he does sickening amounts of damage, and you just wreck everybody's day with JML. So, each Galactic Legend in their own right could potentially be considered the best Galactic Legend for what they do specifically. So you can't go wrong with any of them. I mean, if you build a Galactic Legend, you're not going to be unhappy. You're definitely going to find uses for it and be able to do well in all kinds of areas of the game. I will say, though, that the Sith Eternal really falls apart in Conquest. You can beat almost anything you want with him in Conquest. You just can't get 3 stars. My ships suck. Any suggest? If your ships are bad, build Geos. Geos can do well under any capital ship, and they're competitive early game. They're competitive late game. You build into Malevolence, they're still good. So yeah, I would say just Geos if you're stuck. It's not bad. First Order is a beast. So why do you climb with the First Order fleet? I've been told they suck. Yeah, I've been told they're trash. So they are. I mean, for people who don't know how to play the First Order fleet, they're trash. The absolute key to me for the First Order fleet going from mediocre to good was finally finding the right 2 reinforcements to use. And those 2 reinforcements are Plo and Cassian's U-Wing. Those 2 ships made so much of a difference in how the matchups play out and what I can do with that fleet that literally, in my opinion, those ships can't go into another fleet ever again in my account. And too close. Let's see if we can pull this one out. So yeah, the starting lineup for the First Order fleet isn't a mystery. There's only a couple things that do well and do what you want to do. So in that regard, you're kind of stuck. Let's see, what do we want to do here? I think we do the sweep and just build up damage, and then on the next attack, we'll spear him and should be able to kill him. So yeah, with the First Order fleet, the reason I climb with them is just because over the last 9 months, I've just become so familiar with the fleet and the matchups and how everything works that I just comfortable with it. All right, War Lady Anna is just her team is his or her team is excellent. Zlatan Tintin is on the same payout that I am, so I can't fight him. So I'm going to pay the 50 crystals to go for first place here. We've still got a few minutes left before payout. So I apologize to you guys for doing this on stream, but I really need to get back to getting my payouts on my main account because I haven't done that for the whole week and need to get my crystal income back. All right, let's get the advantage back up on these guys. Mass assist on the First Order Stormtrooper. And then we'll do this. We'll get a critical hit on that Stormtrooper, which is good. Okay, and then we'll take the buffs off of him so that we can get another critical hit. Keep building up our turn meter for our alt. Well, we didn't get the debuff on him. That's kind of stinky. We'll just go ahead and spear him and finish him off and take the hit from the lobster. All right. Now the problem is War Lady Anna's SLKR is built for so much damage. It's just sickening amounts of damage this character puts out. It's crazy. I really don't want to have to do my alt right here. But I don't think if I do my alt, I think I just lose. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. Try to get rid of this Hux and this lobster. Just too much damage from this character, though. All right, let's see if we can get rid of these other two. Now we lose. Definitely going to lose this. Yeah, so we can do that part of it. Yeah, just this team is so good. So good, this team. We're going to take one more carve at it with the C team. See if we can get it this way. And we'll leave Moff Gideon in there. I don't think Moff Gideon will actually ever get a turn versus this team. I think it's just too much damage. All right, but let's see if we can do it. We'll link this, and we'll link the Sith Trooper to cut down damage. And if I get the armor to go off, then I've got a chance. If I don't, then we have no chance. All right, so let's just cut the armor off of this guy here. Stormtrooper, and we get that. And we're good to go now. We'll be able to take first place with that. That damage. Man, this person's mods are just off the hook. Just crazy. We'll give a little more life back to our Sith Empire trooper here in the background. All right. In good shape now. And this is where you see that the Sith Eternal Emperor, he can do things that your SLKR can't. And this team, I struggle to beat it with my SLKR team. But as long as I can get my armor buff off with the C team, then we got it. Honestly, guys, I think that the Galactic Legends are so balanced. It's almost crazy how well all the Galactic Legends have their thing that they do well, and they're balanced, and there's no one Galactic Legend that's so dominant that the other ones are a waste of time. And some people say that about SLKR, like he is the Galactic Legend. But I don't agree. I think if you're looking for an arena defense, Rey is going to do better than SLKR ever will. SLKR is just the most flexible. That's why he gets all the credit, because he can do well at so much different stuff. Alrighty. Let's prepare over here for our free energy. We're farming stun guns. That's all we can farm these days. We just need stun guns everywhere, like everyone else in the game. So let's get us some stun guns. And then we're working on Veer's relics at some point. So what do we need for him? I don't know. We'll just work on some relic stuff. I always just default to this node when I don't know for. Oh no, I know what I'm doing. With the fleet energy, we're supposed to be farming these. We got to get these built up for materials for our relics. So that's what we're doing with our fleet energy. All right. Keep our energy below 144. We do have some mod energy. Let's just grab some slicing materials, get that energy knocked down. Okay, go back over here to chat, see what people are saying. Sweep twice, then stab. English Swigo is quite toxic. I just asked for a place in a 220 million Galactic Power guild. Instant 5 message which says toxic stuff about my post just because my account's not big enough. That's too bad, man. Use our tool. Use that website that's recommended through our Discord. Um, people are people are good over there. You'll get a good guild. And it definitely doesn't have to be an English guild or any guild, you know. Of course, if you join a Russian guild and they all speak Russian and you don't speak Russian, it's going to be really awkward. So that's probably not a good match. I just unlocked my Padme for the next GAC. Should my first two Zetas on that team go to Padme? Right. It's debatable, but yes, the two Zetas on Padme are very good. The Zeta on Anakin helps a lot. I think what I did was I went with Padme's. Let's see. Got to make sure I'm talking the right one here. Let's see. Can't be prevented and is increased to 40%. Yeah, I think I did Unwavering Courage as my first Zeta. Then I went to Anakin Zeta. Then I came back to Always a Choice. But if you take your first two Zetas and you put them on Padme, it's not wrong. You're going to need those two Zetas. You're going to want them anyway. So putting those two on first, then Anakin needs to be next, then Kenobi if you've got him. And then I think Ahsoka is just an excellent Zeta where she can assist because her basic is removing buffs. So just the fact that you can use, you use Padme's middle skill on your team, targeting the character where you want to remove debuffs. You use this, it triggers Ahsoka. Ahsoka goes over, removes buffs from somebody as part of Padme's turn. So I think that's a very useful Zeta. But all of those Zetas play some kind of part in this team. So you'll need a total of 5. And then if you put Grandmaster Yoda in this 5th spot and give him a Zeta too, getting foresight on your guys is pretty powerful as well. Can you show the top 50 of your shard? The top 50 of my arena shard? On Loquitur account you want? On the Allura account, the top 50 in my shard are just Gas, Galactic Legends, and a couple Darth Revan teams. I mean, it's not very exciting to show that. Over here, we're looking at, Galactic Legend here already. Gas, GL Ray, GL. So top 20's full of Galactic Legends, Gases, Darth Revans. And then from here on out, it's going to be mostly Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan. A few Empire teams in here. Look at this. We got a few Trooper teams that are all the way up top. Where was that Trooper team I just saw? Just saw one. Here we go. Number 23. So we've got a Trooper team that's all the way up at number 23. Look at this thing. Awesome. Kicking butt. Veers, Piet, Gideon, Vader, and just a short trooper to take some damage. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, but that's what it looks like. There's a Padme team up there. There's another Padme team. Another Padme team. Yep. Lots of good stuff up there. Don't post, look at guilds, and apply to them. I shared your beginner guide to a Facebook Swiggle group. Oh, cool, Bookish. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Merciless Zeta for Vader be necessary for the R2-D2 event because I'm stuck at 5-star R2. The R2 event is simple. I mean, your characters will build up enough to beat that event, no problem. Unless you're really jonesing for R2 and there's a reason to build him early. I mean, I unlocked him at 7 stars, but I've never touched him. R2 doesn't really have that great of a place in the early game. He doesn't have a team that he fits into where you go, man, I really need to unlock that R2. So somewhere down in here, where is it? Okay. I missed it somewhere. But we've got a 7-star R2 that we haven't even activated. We're not interested. He doesn't fit in a team somewhere. So yeah, you can get him pretty easily, but I definitely would not build something in your account to try to unlock R2. Okay, let's see. Got the squad arena payout. We're good in fleet, right? We're a number 2. Can't beat number 1. So we're good over here. We just got to keep working on the Allura fleet to get that up. Get that going. All right. He keeps going too right after my question. What'd I do wrong, Roto? I don't know. What happened? I have the same question as Roto Fire. What are your thoughts on slow Padme for fights other than Darth Revan? Does it significantly negatively impact her other matchups if you leave her as the slowest on the team? So Padme's speed is not that important. Okay? So I don't know about fast Padme, slow Padme as what you want to talk about. It's fast Padme or we don't care Padme. So putting her slow on your team, the only point in that is making sure that Darth Revan and Bastila both get to go and put all of their debuffs on before Padme goes. That's the gimmick. And with slow Padme, what you have to look to do with that team is you have to plan to trigger Anakin using other characters falling low on life. When that happens, Anakin will trigger and he will give Padme a turn. And then your speed on Padme doesn't really matter. She can be fast, she can be slow. She just takes a turn every time Anakin takes a turn. And it's good enough. You won't see things fall apart because your Padme isn't fast enough. So either you make your Padme so that she's super fast and you can take the first turn. And against some teams, there's characters that you're going to want to kick. Against other teams, there's characters that you're going to want to just use your basic and just use your basic to get the protection up so that you can't be debuffed into the dirt. But that's my thoughts on Padme. You either make her fast enough to do that, or you don't care, and she's whatever speed she is, and then you're fine with that, and she takes turns after Anakin. So I'll defer to the chat. Nabokov is here, and we've got Griff here and Vader. If you guys feel differently or more strongly about something specific with the slow Padme conversation, help the folks in chat understand, your point of view on that, please. But that's what it is to me. It's just, shouldn't have done that. It's just either fast Padme or we don't care Padme. Whatever speed. All right. Okay, let's see here. What do we want to do? We don't need any of our reinforcements, but we're just going to bring in the Hound's Tooth just for fun. We don't have advantage, so we can't kill him in one hit, unfortunately. We're just having fun now, playing out some stuff. Just put it on auto and let it finish so I can go catch up on chat. Okay, at the same time, let's see. Is Biston's U-Wing worth pushing for? So, all of these questions I always feel like I have to answer in two different ways. So is Biston's U-Wing worth pushing for? If we look at this fleet, here's your Biston's U-Wing, here's your relic characters, starting 3 in this lineup, and this guy can take top spot in Fleet Arena with this Rebel fleet every day that he wants to. He can beat all the negotiators, malevolences, whatever he wants to. And this Biston's U-Wing is a critical part of what he's using to do that. So yes, Biston's U-Wing is definitely worth it, but it is not worth it in the early game because these characters are awful. You do not want to build a Relic Biston if you're under 2 million galactic power. You do not want to build a Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. Those characters are just awful. And even if you put them on a Mon Mothma team, like Biston on a Mon Mothma team is bad, right? It's just a bad situation to be in. So when you want this ship, it is a awesome ship to build. But you have to be at enough galactic power that you're not adding these relic level characters. And I've heard plenty of people say before, well, you don't have to have Biston or the Scarif at relic levels. They're just fine, blah, blah, blah. They're not. They're not just fine at Gear 8. When you get to this level of competition with fully kitted out negotiator fleets, you will not be successful unless you have a relic level Biston. If you're in the early game and you're fighting against my Geos with a Gear 8 Biston, we're just going to pick him out and turn him into scrap in moments. And so unless you're willing to commit to those characters, you will not have an effective ship early game. So my recommendation is if you're 3 million galactic power and you're building a strong second fleet, absolutely, go for it. Do it. If you're under 3 million galactic power, you just can't afford to put crappy characters into your account. And again, other people may have different opinions on it, but for me, that's how I look at it. It's nothing to do with the ship. The ship is awesome. You just can't afford the characters. Dextinity. Ooh, that's kind of like a destiny, but spelled weird. Enjoying the stream, man. Cool. Yeah, thanks. Glad. Okay, Daniil asked a question. I wonder how much exactly if you follow the optimal pattern. Daniil. So is there a question? How long does it take to level 85? I think if you started the game, like I would love to try this again just to see, but I think if you started the game and on the very first day that you ever played the game, you dropped $50 on it and you said, I'm going to just buy crystals, $50 worth of crystals, and I'm going to do Cantina refreshes every day. So let's look at crystals. How much crystals could we get for $50? 7,300. So this is 70, basically 74, 74 refreshes in the Grand Arena. If we divide that by 3, that's a lot. So 27, 28, something like that. So for 28 days, the first 28 days that you play your account, you do 3 Cantina refreshes every day. I think you could clear level 85 in something like 85 days. I don't know. I think that would absolutely be the optimal path for the least amount of money. And I think you would crush it. I think you would probably get level 85 and 85. For normal people, if you follow the optimal path, I think somewhere around 100 days makes sense. I got 85 in 95 days, but a couple weeks into my account was the big anniversary event around Thanksgiving last year, and they had a week's worth of double drops, and the account just leaped ahead. It was like two weeks worth of work in a week. So I always consider that like between 5 and 7 days of my development was just due to those double drops. So level 85 in 100 days seems like a very optimal number. So if anybody else has experience, drop it in the chat. Let us know. Let us know where you got the 85. 1 to 85, what's the record? Yeah, I don't know what the record is. For a free to play record, that would be one thing. And then I would love to see for, under $100, not the hyperdrive bundle. Non-hyperdrive, you know, give people some money. Give them like $20 or $50 and see how fast they could build the account. You could do account races. But yeah, that's what I think. 3 months to get 85 is the best I've seen, says Nabokov. Okay. All right, so we got some comments about the Padme thing. For a slow Padme, she just has to be super healthy. Okay. The real Padme is speedy for the heal stun or her mod. I don't like slow Padme, and I can see some use for tanky Padme, but you run into a lot of you run a lot of health in any situation. Okay, so Nabokov is a fan of the faster Padme. Anything less than 85k health won't help you with a slow Padme build. So Vader's saying that it has to be massive health. Okay. To be honest, I didn't run the I don't care Padme, and I did run the I don't care Padme, and it's worked well for me, even when GK and Ahsoka are slower. Of the damage isn't there. Oh, if the damage isn't there, the team falls apart. If Padme dies, the team falls apart. I would say fast Padme is the way to go, just like Griff says. Theo Geck asks, how long do you usually take to relic a character? 2 weeks on my main account. I would have said 3 weeks on my Loquitur account, but I'm ahead of that schedule. I've been surprised that I've been able to relic as many characters as I have, and I think we're at between 2 and 3 weeks, probably 2.5 weeks maybe on the Loquitur account per relic character. It's going faster than I thought. It really is. Nabokov, Griff says, I was a fan of slow Padme, but after switching to a fast Padme, I found the slow variant is inferior. This is nice from Griff. So he's played both, and he says it's all about the speed to get her heal more often and to get the protection up. Nabokov fan says, Piet, 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 Piet. If you say his name 3 times, he pops up somewhere like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Yeah, okay. All right. Enough of that. Piet. Vader says I have a slower Padme build and do fine, but not many people use Padme against Darth Revan anymore. Yeah, my problem with Padme against Darth Revan has nothing to do with Revan and everything to do with Malak. Malak is very hard for the Padme team to finish out. So Malak is kind of the showstopper over there. That's what prevents Padme versus DR, is that now that the Malaks are Relic 7, Relic 8, it's just, you're just done. Three months. Okay. Would you say the same thing about the Gauntlet Starfighter as you do about Biston's U-Wing? Absolutely. And it's the exact same thing, because the Gauntlet Starfighter is also an amazing ship, in my opinion. And the characters are just so bad. Early game. They're bad early game. Once you have enough galactic power and you have your teams established and stabilized, then it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to at some point add bad characters to make your account better. That's the way the game works. So yeah, after a while, it's not relevant anymore. But in the early game, especially your first few million galactic power, you really can't afford to waste it on bad characters. All right, bring in this Anakin reinforcement just to pop the other Anakin's stuff. Now here we need to really get back around to to Anakin. So there he goes. Oh, he's still got stealth, though. That's no good. Now we're in trouble. Okay, this may go badly. We're not going to be able to kill a ship and get our foresight going on. Let's see if we can kill Anakin. All right, we're still in the game now. All right, because once we get this daze on, we're just done. The daze just kills this comp. So we just wait for the Plo to come in as a reinforcement. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. Waiting on Plo, hoping that we don't get killed in the meantime. Oh boy, we got taunt up on this guy, and the spy is gonna go. Oh boy. Oh dear. We made it. We made it to Plo, and that's why I said Plo is a reinforcement and Cassian's U-wing is a reinforcement. If you don't have those, this fleet really doesn't work. Let's go ahead and get that spy, and then we can put a missile on him if we don't finish him off. But it looks like we're good to go here. All right, picked our way through it. I hit 85 at 110 days. Oh, yeah, that's good. 85 in about 100 days is about right for mine as well. Biscuit says, in 10 seconds, you buy the hyperdrive. Alpha Male says, do you have Malik? I do not. I do not. I went for this thought process on my main account where I just said, I started the game. Jedi Knight Revan looked really good, so I went straight for Jedi Knight Revan, beeline for him. And not long after that, my account's only October of 2019, so it's a year and a half old. So I got my Jedi Knight Revan. I was working on some other stuff and got a relic level Grievous and started working on his droids. And then Galactic Legends came out. And I just dropped everything and went straight for the Galactic Legends. I've never looked back since. I've built SLKR, I've built C, I'm building Array. I've got to circle back around and get Revan and Malik at some point. I just haven't done it. Just haven't done it. Malik stops Padme. Yeah. Exactly. Bookish took off. See you later. Probably too late to say see you later. The Theo Geck says, I had some doubts if I should buy the right side gold gear in the shard shop or if I should just farm it in nodes. So Theo, I don't know if you've watched my gear up video for gear and relics, but I always farm the gold gear and I always buy the purple gear for relic stuff out of the shard shop. Always, always, always. And you get that gold gear from raids and guild events as well, so it's not, you don't have to farm that all out. But if you look at my Allura account, man, I've got tons and tons and tons of the relic materials, and I'm still buying them. Look at this, 189 of these, 217 of these. I keep buying these, and at some point, you know, if I get like 240 of them, maybe I'll stop. But yeah, I just lean into it, and then this stuff I never need. I've always got it in the bank. The med packs and the scanners I can never get enough of, but the rest of this stuff I just keep buying it. I buy it and buy it and buy it. And also, I mean, then you don't feel guilty. You come in here and you're like, okay, I need more materials for my relic stuff. Look at this. I've got 3 cybernetics in the bank. I have no qualms about building another cybernetic. Still got 80 of those here. I could build another cybernetic. Look at this. You know, when I want relic materials, I just go in there and I just farm. Yeah, it's easy. With the way I do it, it seems so easy to get those relic materials. I hate the exchange rate. So even with that said, that I don't feel like it's hard to get the stuff to do these Electrium conductors. The exchange rate is terrible. 13 of these for a full piece. It's debilitating. So on the Loquitur account, I've run into that already where I really have to work to get these. But that's why I consider like you take this purple stuff out of the shard shops, you combine up into a full piece for the scavenger, and I always almost feel like that purple stuff is free because it's so easy to get. I can't imagine watching Return of the Jedi with Nabokov. He's going to be going nuts every time Piet got some screen time. He's just got Piet on loop. He just watches the Piet scenes over and over on loop. All right. Theo, it's a terrible value to buy the right side out of the shard shop. Farm those out of the fleet nodes. Yeah, always farm them. Always be farming. Griff's Padme is apparently at 306. Something above 290 is considered a fast Padme to Griff. Is it good or bad to buy fleet currency on the Cantina store to speed up leveling of the second fleet? Or is it better to get shards for the shard shop? It's better to get shards for the shard shop. Fleet currency will come to you in the game. All you have to do is wait for it. I have bought fleet currency before, and after buying it, I am of the opinion that you just wait for it. You just wait for your fleet currency. Let it come to you. I actually ran out of fleet currency on my main account. I just wasn't paying attention to it. I got this malevolence at 5 stars, and I unlocked it. And I went to level it up, and I was out of fleet currency. And I was like, where did my fleet currency go? What happened? Like what happened to my fleet currency? But I guess just over time, I'd been spending enough of it on the mod store. Because in the mod store, remember, half of the mods cost fleet energy, like this. So I guess over time, I just found enough of these mods that I bought for fleet energy that I'd run myself low. But yeah, over time, you'll build up enough fleet currency that you'll even be able to come in here and buy mods with your fleet currency. So I would not. That's actually a pretty good mod. 5 speed, offense, health, offense, and a protection main stat. The protection main stat isn't that good, but it's health with health, 2 offense and speed. And buy that while I'm in here. So yeah, I would not buy. I would just be patient. Look at my ships though. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is crazy. I've got it's so embarrassing because I've talked before about how I've bloated my fleet and it was a mistake and whatever. And when I hit Division 1, like as soon as I hit Division 1, I was like, the heck with it. It doesn't matter now. I'm in Division 1. I'm locked in. And I came in here and I just spammed all of this fleet stuff, right? I put all these ships up and built up all their stars and put them at level 85. And then they come out with this Grand Arena rework and they're like, hey, galactic power matters again. So not only did I bloat myself with ships the first time around, I did it again. Look at this, 2.2 million in ships against 2.8 in characters. That's so stupid. Like if I had 1.6 in fleet and 2.8 in characters, I'd be in so much better shape in this account. But yeah, I get matched up with crazy matchups because I've got a lot of relic characters and I've got so low galactic power in my guys. It's sad state of affairs. All right, let's see. Let's go back in here. We could probably do another fleet battle. All right, this guy. I've got 40 million. Oh, fleet credits. I hoard hard. All right. What squads are you using for the Triumvirate Raid on the Loquitur account? I never get to play the Triumvirate Raid. The guild that I'm in right now launches the Triumvirate Raid midday, and I work, and I can't do raid in the middle of the day at my job. There's no way. So I don't even get to participate. But you can throw geos in. You can throw troopers in. Um, there are. I kind of messed that up. I shouldn't have done that. Talking and playing at the same time. Um, so there are things that you could throw in to get points, but I certainly don't have anything that's good enough that I would say I score points in the Sith raid. I don't care. I'm not. I If I get any placement at all in the Sith raid, if I just do some damage to get on the board and get placed 23, I'm fine with it. I don't really look at the raids as a premium source of gear. I do know that if you get good placement, you can get quite a lot of gear. It's not that I don't know that. It's just that I'm not going to build a team specifically because I think that it's important to get placement at raids. There's so many other things in the game that are more important than going after raid placement. So for me, it's just if I can get a place, I'll get it. If I can't, I don't care. But most of the time, just due to the timing, most of the time I don't even get to participate at all. All right, got this fleet going on. They're killing my silencer. Plo comes in. All of a sudden, life is good again. No worries. Clear the taunt off of that hound's tooth. And we'll go over here and get this BTLB taken care of. All right, let's see. What do we want to do here? Let's steal his turn meter, leave him up with taunt for longer. Finish that off. We'll swap turn meter here, finish this off. We've got ability block on him, so we don't even care about the hound's tooth at this moment. We'll just keep working these other guys. And next time the silencer goes, we should be able to cool him down, give him his big skill, and take out the hound's tooth in one hit. 407,000. How do you know what gear is good to buy in the shard shop? Well, what I've said before with regards to the shard shop, think of it like a knight's move in chess. Go down to this third row. 1, 2, 3, up 2, over 1. There you go. Any one of these 4 items is an excellent, excellent purchase out of the shard shop. You buy from any one of those 4 slots, you're happy. You know you've done a good job and spent your currency efficiently. All right, we got to refresh this right away because that guy that we just fought is one of the people that seems to be on the game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you beat him and he can beat you, he'll come right back in as soon as you play and he'll beat you again. He doesn't care if it's your payout. He'll beat you at 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. It's just super annoying guy, this guy. I don't know why he feels like he needs to have that place and own it at the top of fleet. But yeah, as soon as you beat him, you got to immediately refresh and move on and beat somebody else. Otherwise, you won't get your placement for the day. Weird and foolish, but, hey, I can't. It's not up to me how other people play. All right, what do we want to do here? What's the best move? Let's just do this. Am I in the shard chat? Oh, of course I'm in the shard chat. I'm in the shard chat. He is the enemy of the shard chat. So for anybody who's not in a shard chat with a bot, a lot of times there'll be a bot that tells you when people's payouts are. And in a lot of these bots, you can set somebody as an enemy of the state. So basically, when you look at it, you say, okay, this guy's on payout, this guy's on payout, I avoid them, they're friendly players. And then you'll see this person, and they'll have a little like flame symbol next to their name. And those are the people that, on that particular payout, the shard wants you to kill that person on your payout. Yeah. So people get set up as enemy of the state, and all this guy would have to do is just join the shard chat and say, hey, I'm willing to play along and let people get their payout, and everybody would leave him alone. Nobody would care. People don't want to be mean to this guy, but he plays very oddly, selfishly, and sets himself up to be the enemy of the state. I don't harbor any ill will against the guy. I don't care. I just know that as soon as I beat him, I got to refresh and go again, because otherwise I'll lose the placement that I just got. All right, we'll take number 2 over there. That's fine. We'll stop playing fleet. Get back over here to questions. Why first order fleet in Fleet Arena? It's not a good fleet on defense. You are correct, sir. It's a horrible fleet on defense. It is. But what else am I going to use? Right? I've got a 5-star Malevolence. I've got a 5-star Negotiator. For anybody who doesn't know, I was very stupid when I played my account. I told you I went for Jedi Knight Revan first, which I did. And then I went for Sith Eternal Emperor, SLKR. And when I went for SLKR, I went all in. I did not miss a beat or waste a credit that I could put toward my SLKR. That means that every single one of these credits that I could get a piece of gear with, I did. Every single one of these credits down here that I could get a piece of gear with, I did. I spent every last scrap of my Get 1 and Get 2 currency. And I was smart enough to go out on the internet and look and read and listen and watch YouTube videos. And I knew that the standing recommendation was never spend this currency. I did it anyway. I said, I just want this Galactic Legend. I want into the game. I want the top of the squad arena, and go, go, go. And for the first 9 months of my account, I blew through every bit of this. And that's where it put me. I don't have a Negotiator or a Malevolence built up to 7 stars. By the time I started working on these ships, I already had the 7-star finalizer. So that's why. Because I don't have something else. I don't get to pick what I use in fleet, because the first order fleet is what I got. The rest of it's all garbage because I threw away my Get currency. Now, if I had to do it over again, what would I do differently? Well, I would never spend it. I mean, the videos and the people were right. I should have never spent that currency. I thought getting that Galactic Legend was just going to put me so far ahead of the game in every other aspect of it that I didn't care. And in the grand scheme of things, it's okay. I climb with my first order fleet. I'm not bitter about it. I don't quit ships because I don't have the right ship. I just use the first order and flex it like no tomorrow. And I just know that I have to climb. And most days I get pushed far enough down that I have to play 5 battles. And if I don't get within the top 5 in 5 battles, I'll usually hit 1 refresh. And I usually have to refresh for that guy at the top anyway. So I usually have to do 1 refresh to get a top 5 placement in ships. But I'll get it. I get it every day if I want it. How come you don't grab the free Bronzium packs that you can get 10 times per day? What do you mean? I don't... They're gone, right? They're gone. What am I missing? Did I have a free pack that I didn't get? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing. Did you just one-shot that full health and protection Houndstooth? Absolutely. The first order fleet has no finesse. It's just about using the tools to ramp up the damage on the silencer and using the silencer to kill everything. So every time he takes damage or hits a target locked enemy, he gains offense. And that's what the first order fleet is. It's just pass him a turn, gain offense. Pass him a turn, gain offense. The reason you use this Special Forces TIE Fighter in the beginning, and you'll see that I often do that little dive bomb thing that he's got. Where's it at? Where's that ship at? I do this little dive bomb thing that he's got. It puts damage over time effects. This damage, when it damages the silencer gives me another 15% offense. So I don't do this skill to damage the enemy as much as I do this skill just to put damage over times on my own Kylo and get more instances of damage that ramps up his offense. And then, when you have advantage with this skill, it does 100% more. And then you automatically get a crit because you have advantage. So you can hit 400,000 or 500,000 easy with this ship once you get his damage ramped up. And there's no ship in the game once you're around the level where most capital ships get their alt. The TIE silencer is hitting so hard it's going to one shot anything they bring in a reinforcement as. You should try a 7-star negotiator. I should try a 7-star negotiator. I just don't have one. I just don't have one. I'll have it someday. I'm hoarding my currency right now. I'm gonna make a bet with you guys, so you guys can see if I'm right. Here's my bet. Okay, I've got a 5-star negotiator. I've got a 5-star malevolence. I started working this ship towards 7 stars, and then I stopped. I took my hands off the wheel, and I said, you know what? It's been a long time since they put out a capital ship in this game, and they built the Razor Crest, and it's a bounty hunter ship. There's a lot of reasons why you would either want, let's say, a scoundrel ship or a smuggler ship or a bounty hunter capital ship in the game. So I'm banking on that, guys, and I'm going to save up this currency for months. I'm not going to go for 7 stars on either one of these ships right now. I'm just going to bank this currency for a long time because I think sometime later this year we're going to get a new capital ship. I think it could be, Honda Onaka's ship from where he was like the boss of the planet or whatever. I can't remember the names of all this stuff. Or it could be like a smuggler ship, like something from the Solo movie, maybe. Maybe something for maybe Zori Bliss is coming into the game. There was something at one time that indicated we would get Zori Bliss as a character. So if we get Zori and potentially get Zori's ship, that's more of this kind of bounty hunter, smuggler kind of thing. Maybe in the Book of Boba Fett there's a capital ship. I don't know, guys. I'm banking on another capital ship. Are you going to... Oh, somebody asked, are you going to try to get a 7-star negotiator? I'm already answering that question. Okay. Should I go for the C over SLKR because it gave me assault battle teams that I can use to produce more gear and relics and Zeta materials? So that's what I'm doing on the Loquitur account. The troopers are a phenomenal team at getting resources out of the game. There's a couple assault battles that they do really well in. They're doing great in Conquest. They clear way above what they should in the Galactic challenges. So it's not necessarily going for C. It's, do you build this trooper team because of all the stuff that they do so well? And then once you've built the trooper team, C just kind of looks like an easy jumping off point, right? Because you're going to have built Vader and Palpatine for a Sith team. You're going to have built a Empire team in the troopers, and then C is not that far away. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense as your Galactic Legend if you're going for the economic stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's not a secret, but that's what we're talking about over on the Discord and what we're trying to build for those follow-up guides. And the version of the economic is going to be a lot of the troopers and those type of teams that do well in the events and into the Sith Eternal Emperor. Yep. Wait, so there's a GAC today? No, not that I'm aware of. This is just a chill stream. We're going to talk, just the GAC in the title is just if people have questions about the new setup, about 3v3, want to talk, ask questions in general about Grand Arena. So I'm not playing Grand Arena, I'm just talking about it. So Griff says maybe it comes from Conquest. Too many veteran players have get currency hordes that I think they would hesitate to put ships and characters in that shop again. I don't think so. I think you should put it in that shop. I think that's exactly the place where I would put it if I was Capital Games, right? Because people hoarding currency, do they deserve to be rewarded for hoarding currency? I think so. I think if you're at the top of the game and you get to get access to that ship before other people who haven't hoarded the currency, that's how you feed the whales at the top. The big guys at the top, the whales, the krakens, if they get a premium thing in the game because of the money that they've already spent, it makes them feel special. You got to keep those people happy. You got to make them feel special. You got to pander to them a little bit and make sure that you make things hard to get for early game players, so that the guys who spent all the money feel good about continuing to spend money. That's how you make money in the game. And for anybody who doesn't think that that's fair or reasonable or anything else, I mean, it's a for-profit game, and the company that runs it has to make money. And you got to feed the whales. You got to feed those guys at the top. Keep them spending the money to keep the game going. Is Malevolence or Negotiator better to go for first? Is it better to save currency, 600k GP, and I have 80 Negotiator shards? Did I make a mistake? So there's two ways to do it, Mark. And what we have recommended with our early game guide is to go for the Malevolence first. And the reason why you want to go for the Malevolence first is just efficiency. Because the Geos are such a good team to build early. They do a lot of stuff for you in the game. They have a good fleet. So you just go straight from the Geos into the Malevolence. Now, what you're doing, spending on the Negotiator, you can do the same thing that I was doing on my Loquitur account, right? So my plan was to establish this Geo team and leave them alone. Don't go Malevolence, but rather build up this Anakin ship, build up this Houndstooth. We already went for Ahsoka. And that's a core 3 ships that can be used for the Negotiator fleet. So my plan was just leave these Geos under Tarkin, build the Negotiator, and have a Negotiator fleet. And kind of leapfrog over the Geos. So is that wrong to do? No, I don't think so. I think that's just a fine strategy as well. The thing that I'm finding, though, is that it's less efficient to do it that way than it would be to go straight into Malevolence. Malevolence is the better build path. Instead of Houndstooth requiring you to get the Houndstooth ship itself, as well as the character Bosk and Relic Bosk, the Malevolence fleet uses the Vulture Droid and the Hyena Bomber, both of which are pilotless. So instead of farming Bosk as a pilot and Houndstooth as a ship, I could have instead farmed Vulture Droid and Hyena Bomber as those 2 nodes, and then I would have 2 full ships with no pilots. That's really a better equation for efficiency. But if you've got 80 Negotiator shards, stick with it. Go for it. You know, if it's a mistake, then it's the exact same mistake that I'm making, because look at this. Look at this, boys. 135. When this Dark Side GOTB finishes up, I think we're Negotiator. I think for sure I'll be able to get enough to get these last 10 shards and get my Negotiator up and running. So excited. My Kenobi's not 7 stars yet, though, so I can't relic my Kenobi. You all know from my account updates that I'm really focused on getting Kenobi his gear tiers. We got to get him up and running as a good pilot. We got to get him to at least, gear 11 as soon as we can, and then just so when this 100th shard drops in from Kenobi, he's got to go straight to relic like the 100th shard hits, and boom, relic done. So it'll probably be another, 6 to 7 weeks, something like that, before we get Kenobi to 7 stars. But we'll be able to build up that Negotiator in the meantime. All right, let's see what we got going on over in the chat. AP Games is just making videos to get you to click. Okay, Darth Vader says, at David Dutrow. He has general disdain for the game, also clickbait. So AP Gaines is like Jekyll and Hyde, though, right? He's got all of the negativity about the game and the sensationalism and the weird videos. But if you sort through all that and you watch the content and what he's doing, he does sincerely know how to play the game and is trying a lot to help new players build good and efficient accounts. And a lot of what he says and what I say aren't that different. So I don't know. I respect AP Gaines, and I think he's got a strategy for making people click his videos that works for him. But yeah, I think he knows what he's doing. He's helped a lot of people. So I can't say too much bad about AP. I would wager that there's been an influx of new players and players coming back, not necessarily leaving. Oh, the why is everybody leaving Galaxy of Heroes video that he did. And there are some people leaving, and there's always some people leaving. In every game you ever play, there's always people leaving, and it's just like you guys said, it's clickbait, just making you click and watch. Arva says, I demand Red 5 and the TIE Defender. The Red 5. I know what Red 5 is. The TIE Defender, is that like three? Is it the ship that's got 3 foils out of Clone Wars? Because that ship is cool looking. I would like that 3-leaf tie, whatever you want to call it, 3 foils. Darth Loquitur, I can tell you the get to ship early feels insanely impactful. The Death Star as a Galactic Legend capital ship. A Death Star as a capital ship? I don't know about that. I don't know if they could pull that off. It'd be pretty cool, though. We definitely want to see the unlock and new battles first impression on the negotiator. Well, I'll give you what you want. We'll definitely unlock it and use it. But my ships aren't that good yet. You know, I'm still... The Hound's Tooth is not even 7 stars. Anakin's ship, not 7 stars. Ahsoka herself isn't built up. So our first version of this negotiator fleet, I believe, is going to be inferior to even the Geo fleet that we've got going on right now. We're going to have to get more levels on Kenobi and finish out those 2 ships before I think the negotiator fleet's going to be that impressive. But yeah, I think the moment I unlock the negotiator, I don't know if it'll even do better in fleet than what I've already got. The thing is, boys, once we get this unlocked, and these 3 ships are the starting 3 under the negotiator on defense in Grand Arena, and I still have the Tarkin fleet with the Geos on offense in Grand Arena, that's a day. That's power. Because most people at our Galactic Power are not going to be able to beat a negotiator on defense. And if they are, they're going to have such garbage on defense that we're going to beat them with 2 or 3 ships and just maximize our banners. Executor as a Galactic Legend capital ship. The Executor? Blah. Too much good guy stuff. We want more bad guy stuff. We want bounty hunters, scoundrels, scumbags, smugglers. That's what we need. We don't need more good guy ships. We need the neutral faction ships. We need smugglers, bounty hunters. That's what we need. None of this good guy stuff. I really want a Sith fleet, the Final Order. Yeah, they could do a Final Order capital ship. It'd be interesting. Maybe it'd be something like the Radis ability, where after a certain amount of time, the cannon goes off on the bottom, the planet destroyer, and we just take that. That would be a cool ability to try to develop. What would that do? Just like, I don't know. It should melt ships. Melt the opposing capital ship on the way through. We've already got that with the Radis, but I don't know. I think that would be a pretty cool ship to build. Very similar to the Bad Batch ship. There's just a shuttle. Yeah. The Sith fleet. What else do we have over here? Separatist Tri-Fighter would be awesome. Here's the thing. Everyone says clickbait is dirty, but at the end of the day, if people are clicking on your videos, then you're a successful YouTuber. Area 501st, that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it. It doesn't matter if it's clickbait or good or bad or what. It's a business strategy that AP Gaines is using, and it works. And some of the stuff that he does is hilarious. I don't know if you saw that video where he made me in a different game and ran around killing things with a bow and then got me killed and like told a story about Loquitur, but it's just for clicks, you know. And if 1,500 people click on that video, he gets all that ad revenue. And just for doing something dumb, he gets like, $26. So, yeah, it's business. Tri-Fighter, V-Wing, V-19 Torrent. The Death Star would be sick. Galactic Legend Death Star. I would love the Resistance Bomber and an A-Wing. I would love an A-Wing. Man, like the little A-Wing that was tying up the legs on the AT-ATs in the Empire Strikes Back, like those were cool ships back in the day. I thought those were such cool little ships. We have a lot of ships to fill out the existing fleets. Yep. Negotiator will outperform your geos by a lot, and Fleet Arena will transform. Barely anyone will be able to beat it. I'll take your word for that. Only 10 away from Negotiator. Not leaving earlier from my starting guild to go to a TV really shows. 70 short of Malevolence. Yeah, that is the value of a good guild. What's your current fleet defense? What I currently use in Grand Arena for fleet defense is just the home one. So I put 50 levels on home one and a couple of levels in the basic very early on, and I actually thought home one was going to be my capital ship. I really did. I forgot about the whole Executrix needing to be used for that fleet unlock. And once I committed that much to the Executrix, then it was hard to ever go back to the home one. And then once I started building up the Executrix and I'm looking at the Negotiator going, I'm never going to build the home one. I'm just going to let it rot at level 50. So that's where it's at. I did unlock the Endurance the other day. After I got Cassian's U-Wing unlocked, I qualified for the 5-star event over here. So we put it at 5 stars. We'll do the same thing with home one. We'll get it to 5 stars. But I'll run the Negotiator and the Executrix as my main fleets for quite some time. And then by the time I need 4 fleets, I'll probably have the Malevolence. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll build the Rebel fleet at that point. All right. I would also not mind seeing a capital ship that was just Sith the Turtle Emperor on his chair. Well, I mean, he was shooting a bunch of lightning up into the fleet battle. That's, I guess, in a way, he could participate in fleet by shooting lightning out of his hands. Loquitur, the fighters at the start of the Empire Strikes Back, is not an A-Wing, it's a snow speeder. It's a very different ship. Okay. Well, I need the snow speeders then too, because it's a cool ship. I thought there were A-Wings in that scene too. Maybe not the. You're right. They're not the ones tying together the legs though. You're right. But anyway, that's a cool ship. I like that. I like those ships. Everyone's being upset about it now. Chill stream, everyone. Joey isn't. Let's see. What do we got here? But wouldn't you agree Piet really needs a capital ship? Nabokov fan. Nabokov says ... GA rework 2 fleet zones. Front zone is only 1 RI. What do you think? only one RI. GA rework 2 fleet zones and put a fleet in the front zone. What do you think? No, no. There's a lot of stuff in games that can become incredibly unbalanced for a small change. So if somebody really does have dominant fleets everywhere, and you make fleet an important part of the Grand Arena, where people could just put a fleet in and block the front zone, it becomes a lot less fun. I think the way Grand Arena is set up now is good. It's hard to develop a good strategy against every opponent with only 4 zones. Um, it's not as hard as it could be. There could be more that's done to make it more strategic. It could be a little bit like a territory war where you have zones, and then maybe in some zones you make it flexible and people could either put in characters or fleets wherever they wanted, so you could drop 2 fleets in any zone. So you could make it a lot more complicated. But I think for a lot of players that would make it increasingly less attractive, because some players don't want that level of complication. They don't mind the level of complicated that it's at now, but they really don't want it to be chess. At some point, good enough is good enough, and leave it alone. So I think in that regard, yeah, you got to be careful that you don't overcomplicate it or upset the balance. Snow speeders are technically ground vehicles and can't go into space. Technicality. So what? It would mean 1 to 2 fleet reinforcements. Yeah, still, I think fundamentally changing Grand Arena too much could really upset the balance of how the game mode works, and not in a good way. I think it would be a mistake for them to mess with Grand Arena right now. It is a very popular, very successful game mode, and don't mess with success too much. Let it be. Just leave it alone. Let it be good. Let it be what it is. I think with the changes that they did to the team numbers, that's going to be good. I am so happy that Division 1 is now sorted out. Man, as soon as I hit Division 1, I started getting matchups against guys with 1 million to even... that one guy was like 1.8 million galactic power above me. 5 million versus 6.8. It's just obscene, the difference in the account levels. And that guy had more than twice as many Zetas as I do, and almost 3 times as many Zetas. And it just makes the matchup almost unplayable. So I'm glad that they've sorted that out again. I'm glad galactic power matters again. I'm right at the level where I'll duck into, 4 with my main account. I don't know if it's updated yet. Is it updated here? Yeah, so it's updated. So I'll be at 5.15. No, I'll be at 5. Because on my main account, I'm like 5.1 something. Let's take a look. I can just look at my main account right now. Yeah, 5.148. I'm literally right below 5.15. Now, it may round me up and put me... I've seen some people say that there's rounding, that somehow, like, this 5.14, actually, if you're over 5.145, it'll round you up to 5.15. So I might be right at the bottom of Division 4. I don't mind. I don't mind either one. If I end up at the top of this division or at the bottom of this division, I'm happy. And that's still, that 6.8 million guy that I fought, he's up here now. He's 2 divisions above me. We're separated by a lot. I'm back down with people that are, somewhere in my ballpark. So I like it. I think that's going to help a lot of the people that were in this, let's say 5 to 7 range, that were pretty dissatisfied in Division 1. The problem is that once they change the game again, if they do something else that goes beyond Galactic Legend and keeps increasing the galactic power, 2 years, 3 years from now, we're going to have to do the same thing again and divide out the divisions. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Nabokov says, I want to see 2 fleet zones and 4 character zones. I don't. Nope. I don't want it to get complicated. Area 501st says, I really wish you could set up the GACs with friends. I think a lot of people wish that. That's what, the sandbox mode that you hear people talk about. Just the idea of being able to go in the game and just go, hey, Vader, let's try some stuff. Let's mess around today. Let's waste like 6 hours of our time making some videos of us fighting each other for no reason whatsoever. Like, that would be so much fun. I'd probably like take a week of vacation and just take off of work and sit at home playing the stupid game if they ever introduce that, because it would be so much fun just to try things out. Yeah. They just fixed Grand Arena because it was broken. I don't think it's broken. I don't think Grand Arena is broken. Every game I've ever played in my entire life, the matchmaking system is always at fault. When I played card games at a tournament level, people always blame the matchmaking. Well, why should I get paired up against this guy and he has a draw and I don't have a draw, and everything, matchmaking. I played Warhammer 40K at a competitive level, won Rogue Trader tournaments. Matchmaking. Oh man, I had to fight you in the second round, and if I hadn't done that and I could have faced you in the final round at that different mission, it would have been a different story. And it's what it is. You fought me in the second round, you lost. If you would have fought me in the final round, you would have lost. It does, the matchmaking isn't at fault. And honestly, I mean, you've seen this, guys. Hopefully, I hope that you've seen this from me, that when I have a really tough Grand Arena matchup, I don't blame the matchmaking. I don't throw my hands up in the air. I look at it and I go, yikes, how am I going to beat this? What am I going to do? Like, how can I take this 1.8 million galactic power difference and beat this guy anyway? And if you guys remember, I beat that guy. I won that matchup. And so for me, Grand Arena, I mean, the people that complain about Grand Arena, don't blame the matchups. The matchmaking system is fair enough. You're always going to get matchups that stink for your account. Play it out. Use it as a challenge. You win. You learn more from the losses than you do from the wins anyway, and you just have fun with it, right? Like, that's the point. The point is not to win every Grand Arena. Okay, let me back up a second. If you were to average every player in Grand Arena, what percentage of wins does the average player have? Statistically, we do a graph, we do the median, we do the mean, we set this all up. Where do you think the average player, the mean player, the person right in the middle, what win percentage rate does that person have statistically? While I'm waiting, I'll address some of the chats over here. Let's see. Vader says, Darth Loquitur, it's on. Vader, it would be so on. I think we would have so much fun. And there's a lot of areas where you would kick my ass because your account is just so much older and harder and more Zetas and whatever. But man, I would love to play it. I would love to play it. Bigger GP doesn't always mean better. You can look at a matchup and be like, it's going to be tough. And the what ifs, if you, yeah, exactly. That's what helps you improve. Nice. Area 501st says, I'm fighting someone with a higher GP and terrible mods. So much fun. Yeah, it is. Because you walk up to the table and you're like, I got this guy. Like, my speed mods are faster. My offense mods are better. Even though he's got so much more stuff, my stuff is better. That's fun. Okay, so we have 6 of 12, 55% or so, 50%, 50%. AFKs, Joey DeGoat says 50%. So why do you guys say 50%? I mean, probably because other people are good at math and you all know statistics. So that's what the statistics will tell you. If you go in there, every single match, every match has one winner and one loser. So if you average up every match, you have one winner and one loser. The mean has to be 50%. If you're winning more than 50% of your matchups in Grand Arena, you're doing better than the mean. There's people that don't try. There are genuinely people who do one of two things. They don't care about Grand Arena. They're not even going to play. They don't even play. They either A, put garbage on defense and let you win, or B, they put every single good character they have in the toughest defensive structure that they can possibly build with no intention at all of playing the offensive side of the game. They just set up a defense and take whatever free rewards they get, and that's it. And they don't care. And they don't think about the fact that they're stopping people that actually want to play from getting banners and doing better in the overall score and getting Kyber. They just don't play, right? So if you sort out the people that don't play, that skews the statistics, and it goes up to about 60% win rate for the people that are trying to win. So just think of that. If you win more than 60% of your matchups, you're doing better than all the people that are trying. So 2/3 of your matchups, if you win 9 battles in your Grand Arena season, you're a good player. If you win more than 9, you're an elite player. If you go 12 out of 12, you're one of the top players in the game, I guess, or you got good matchups or whatever. In my last Grand Arena on my main account, what was I in Division 1? So think about this. I'm barely in Division 1, and I'm ranked 3569. So of all the people that are playing this game currently, 3,500 of them did better than me in Grand Arena with an account that is massively bloated, and I couldn't even complete a bunch of the feats in the last round. So out of all the players in the game, I was number 3,500. And I'm not building the account to try to win Grand Arena. That to me is fun. It's not a broken game mode. I mean, listen, just the discussions around it, the way people talk about it, everybody is comparing their scores. So I don't know how anybody could say that it's a broken game mode. Interesting. Since there's people that play sometimes, like Arva said, it might be a bit higher. Yeah, that's exactly it. My mom says we're all winners if we had fun. AP gains. Hey, AP. Your mom is right. She's right. But just remember, there's no participation award. Oh, wait. Yes, there is a participation award. Forget that. You get paid just for participating. AP gains, nope. If you aren't first, you're last. Dang, AP better finish it. It's broken for the Nikki Biggs account. So, I don't know how many people like Vince Lombardi, but I actually am a big fan of his Vince Lombardi speech. And he's got several famous ones, but he's talking about winning. And he says winning is not a sometimes thing, it's an all-the-time thing. He says there's a game for second place, but it's a game for losers, and it's played by losers. Yeah, so Vader, that's exactly the approach that Vince Lombardi would agree with. You're either first or you're a loser. Second place is just the number one loser in the world. I think in today's society there's still a place for that mentality, but I think there's not nearly as many people who have that cutthroat of an attitude toward most things. Even in business, it used to be that a lot of businesses were just trying to put other businesses out of business. And even the business that I'm in right now, I have competitors, and I don't like that they occasionally steal my customers. But at the same time, I'm busy. My people are busy. We're full. We're doing all we can. So if I put my competitors out of business, that would just be more business that I would not be able to execute. So then you got this decision: do you build another factory, or do you just leave the competitors alone? Let them do what they're good at, do what you're good at, and let them be. So I don't know. Maybe the world's becoming a place where it's okay to be second or third. CG said that roughly 34% of GAC defenses are auto deploys. So that means of 66% of the players of GAC, out of those 66%, I would guess their win rate is close to 60%. So, yeah, I think we landed on the same number, Griff. I think 60% is about the right win rate for players that are trying. Joey, yeah. I think AP. Oh, AP's been watching for like 30 minutes. All right. Cool, man. You need to comment more and get the chat rate up. Uh, AP had a stream that was like homework ASMR. Funny stuff. Loquitur, there's a discussion that usually comes up in the guild Discord. I'm an officer. How do you handle leave time? We have players that announce a 1.5 month hiatus and some that just don't say. So there's as a guild officer, as a leader, here's what I would do. If I have a good employee who's loyal and faithful, and they come to work all the time, they don't create problems, they do their job, and they're just, let's say, helping the business, and that person comes to me and says, something just happened in my family, I'm going to need some time off. I had this recently where a person needed to go to Mexico for about 6 weeks. And I cannot afford to lose a person for 6 weeks and have them gone. But at the same time, you can't afford to start over. So in this case, I have the ability to approve up to 4 weeks of leave. So I gave the person 4 weeks of time off work, unpaid leave on my authority. If you come back within 4 months, your job will still be here. Meanwhile, I go down to the temporary service and I hire a temporary employee to fill in. And when the person comes back, they take their job back and the temporary employee goes away. And I would do the exact same thing in a guild. If I had a person that was a good guild member, reliable, did all the stuff they're supposed to do, and they're like, hey man, something happened, I'm going to need to cancel my account for, a month, and then maybe it's going to take me a couple weeks to get back. Weird things happen to people. I'll be back in 6 weeks. I would say, okay, I'm going to boot you out of the guild. I need your spot filled. I need those 600 tickets. I'm going to hire a mercenary. I'm just going to, some low-level player at 600,000 galactic power, I'm going to tell him, look, if you can get 600 tickets a day, I'll put you in the guild. You get free currency. But when my boy comes back, you're out. You're the temp, right? You can sit here and collect the revenue, but as soon as my guy comes back, you're gone. So you don't punish the rest of your guild for that person being gone. That person has a spot in your roster as soon as they come back. And meanwhile, you've helped somebody else out. That's how I would handle that. If somebody leaves and they don't announce that they're leaving, now we've gone from a situation where you've got a good employee or a good guild member that does what they're supposed to do, and they've broken rule number 1. Darth Vader, remember when we put together the video on how to be a good guild member, the thing that we put at number 1, don't be invisible. Don't disappear. Don't be that guy that nobody knows who you are and they see their name on the roster and they're like, oh, you're a guild member? I didn't even know you were in my guild. Don't be that guy. So if a person just disappears and their participation goes to 0 and they didn't say anything, they're out. Kick them instantly. I don't care. I don't care how good they did in the past. If they're not going to communicate, if they're not going to talk to you, they're a bad guild member at that moment. Now, if they come back into the game and say, hey, look, I'm a 14-year-old kid. I really messed up. My mom took my phone away. I couldn't play the game for a month. Now I'm back. I couldn't even tell you guys that I was on break. Then you make your decision. Say, okay, well, next time we got a slot open, we'll take you back. Or you say, well, dude, sorry, your spot's gone. But however you want to run it from there. But don't punish the good guild members that you have because somebody didn't tell you that they were gone. Now, that's for a long-term thing. If it's just for a weekend and somebody says, hey, I can't do the territory battle for the weekend, that's your call. I would just leave them in the guild and just tell everybody that it's going to be a 49-player event and it's whatever. People don't usually hold that against somebody. But you can't punish the rest of the group if people are going to be gone for a long time. We play Swiggle like the Soviet Union. No fighting on the front gets the gulag. That being said, I have my guild Discord muted. Loquitur is out here reasoning with with people, and AP is the ban hammer. Yeah. No, anyway, for what it's worth, for the person that asked that question, that's what I would say, Juan. Be professional. That's what I would do. I would be professional, just like it's a business. My thoughts. And that rewards the people that are good. If they're a good player and they communicate, you know who they are, they're part of the family and they get to stay there. Okay, Vader wanted me to look at the account, and we've been on here quite some time. That video was shared in my guild, and there are some who don't even talk there. We have some similar issues with territory battle, and we can't seem to make people understand the importance of 40 plus out of 50 and how it helps. Then take care of those people. Send them a direct message in Discord and give them 3 days to respond, 5 days to respond, whatever you think is a fair amount of time. And the people that don't respond are just out. And later they come back, why did you kick me out of the guild? Discord is a guild requirement. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I texted you in game. I texted you in Discord. You didn't answer to either one. You're out. You're done. All right. Let's get this Vader number going here. Take a look at Vader's account, because he's special. If he needs help, he's special. I have a feeling that Vader just wants to flex on the rest of us, and we look at his account and we're like, oh my God, I feel so inferior now. That's probably what this is all about, just putting up the big flex on us. What do you think, guys? Vote in chat. Does Vader really want an account review, or does he just want to flex on us mere mortals? Probably a bit of both, huh? Tim says it's a flex. Darth Vader says, oh no, I'm not flexing. Placebo says, I don't like people who don't donate gear and always ask for stun guns. Yeah, just remember, you've got a choice. You don't have to donate stun guns. And again, I think I'm a good guild member, but I don't give stun guns, carbantes, or stun cuffs to anyone. I don't donate that gear. And if you asked for something else, I will almost always give it. I'll always give something that is not those three things. Or the Mark 5 bio, I think it is. There's another one that I always have like 13 of that I can never afford to give people they ask for all the time. 100% flex. Yeah. It's genuine questions. Yeah, no, okay. So we're gonna sincerely go in here and take a look at Vader. So he's got 6.8 million. We've got 2.8 foreign characters. So that's 2.8 is pretty much all the fleets, right? That's pretty much everything you can have in fleet. Okay, so we've got pretty much What? What is this? I must say this is a surprise. How is this Bosk not relict? This is going to be a can of worms that I'm going to open up with the discussion on Galactic Legend Rey. Okay. Phoenix stuff somewhere in the middle still. Look at these Phoenix though, huh? Gear 11. Cruising. You know you're on an old account when you see Gear 11 Phoenix. And then we got the Gauntlet. Not really worked on the Gauntlet. That could be an opportunity for you, Vader. Honestly, the Gauntlet is really a good ship. It's one of the few ships that I would say, now that you're at this galactic power, the Gauntlet might be worth it for you to look at. Okay, then over here on characters, we got the Dark Side Galactic Legends, Skywalker, Revan, Grievous, Vader, Jedi Knight Luke, Malak, all kinds of the stuff that you would expect. Jedi Knight Revan at Relic 3. Interesting. Later in the game, he's more of a support character. So by the time you have Jedi Knight Luke, you really don't need Revan to be Relic 7. So that's probably fine the way it is. Relic 5 on Padme. JTR, Relic 1. Some reason that Vader felt like he had to Relic JTR, but then Relic 1 was as far as he could stomach. For those who don't know, Vader's really not a fan of the Resistance characters. Alright. Han Solo, middle stuff, leftover teams from the Galactic Legends. He's got the Troopers started now, up and running. I think he said he was working on a clone team. Yeah, so we got Rex, we got clones, Relic 3. Alright. Enfys Nest, not Relic. That could be another opportunity. Alright, so the question is, working on bounty hunters. Tim says whale account. It's not a whale account. This is a 5-year-old account. This is playing since the start of the game account. The difference between this account and a whale account is look at the Zetas. Whale accounts, you don't have Zetas like this. This account has Zetas on everything. It's got Zetas on Stormtroopers because we've got Zetas to spare. Gar Saxon gets a Zeta. You know, that's how you tell somebody's been playing forever. Is they just have so many Zeta materials accumulated. Okay. JKR does not need high relics, only at R5 for the C-pit, but otherwise R3 is fine. Can anybody reliably tell me when the next GAC is locked? I want to start applying gear again. The GAC lock-in should be Monday. So a couple days, 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me, it'll show up as Grand Arena starting, and you can lock it in. Okay, so Vader, your original question was about the next project, if you're going for a Galactic Legend, JML, or what you're doing. Is that really the next question? What is it that you're looking for out of this account review? Because there's not much that you can tell a guy with 6.8 million galactic power. Let's see, where are we at with Watt? Where's Watt? There's a Watt Tambor here. Okay, where are we at with Kenobi? All right. Yeah, what should I work on, JML now or wait? I would say this. You're close on JML, but you can't be that far off on the new Kenobi either. You got to relic your Watt Kenobi to 8. You got to build a couple other garbage characters that you don't want. But I might just wait and see. I might sit on some gear, wait out about a month, and see how this Galactic Legend Kenobi looks. And I feel like he's going to be a game changer. They've got 4 Galactic Legends out. The 5th one has to compete for his place. I feel like he's going to be a raid territory battle monster, because the light side needs that for light side GOTB. So I think that the Kenobi is going to be a monster, a 4 out of 4 wave clear all the way to the end in light side GOTB kind of Galactic Legend. So that's what I'd be thinking about if I were you. JML is definitely a good next project, and if you want to do it, do it. Yeah, absolutely. But if you don't want to do JML, then the other reasonable thing for you to do is, start working on those other requirements for the Kenobi and see how that looks. See if that character turns out to be as good as we think it might be. If I was on your account, I'd wait. I'd sit and wait, because the JML's not that far away, and you can do what you need to do to close it out. If Kenobi turns out to be a dud, you just do that anyway. You're not even going to be far behind where you would be anyway, getting him. But if Kenobi turns out to be a better Galactic Legend, and JML just he's good, and he's great in offense on PvP stuff, but kind of lackluster in other areas of the game. Excuse me. Yeah, I'd wait and see on the Kenobi. Let's see what chat's got to say. When's the next batch of requirements coming out? I think June 8th. Is that right? June 6th, June 8th, something like that. I think that's what I remember. I think round out the bounty hunters and hold up and see how Kenobi is in Arena. If C and SLKR can counter Kenobi effectively, hold off on JML. Round out the other teams and go for JML or Kenobi. So Griff is pretty much the same thing we were talking about. All right, let's see what we got here. So like 2 weeks still? Yeah. Theo Geck says, what's he saying to Area 501st? I have my JKR at R5. I missed a comment somewhere in here. All right. So Darth Vader, that's the bounty hunter team I'm building. Jango, Mando, Greef, Boba, and Bosk. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're missing the best bounty hunter in the game right now. You need this. Vader, I'm going to tell you, trust me. You need this Aura Singh. Her contract... her contract is easy, and Bosk has an easy contract too, but you're able to do the Aura Singh contract no matter what the opponent's got for buffs, debuffs, tanks, taunts. It doesn't matter. Hers revolves around getting your characters, your buffed characters, to do anything. Bosk, you have to target the weakest character. These other guys, you have to get massive amounts of critical hits. So everybody else's leadership has some weakness that the opposing team can either exploit or get around or whatever. So you need... Jango is fine. Bosk, Greef Karga for sure. You need this Mandalorian, and you need this Aura Singh. That's the team. Bosk, Jango, Greef, Mando, Aura. I kill gas teams with that. General Skywalker dies to that team. Boba Fett, I know that you've got a lot of progress on him. Not that great. Not that great at relic level from what I've seen. Don't like it. I would much rather Aura Singh and Mando. Jango, Bosk, Aura, Greef, Mando. Okay, let's see. Even with Boba and Jango ignoring taunts? Yeah. Even with Boba and Jango ignoring taunts. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it all depends on if you want to do Mando. If you say, okay, I don't care about Mando, this ability to just annihilate somebody in one turn, the disintegrate ability, it's unique in the game. You know, and only a few characters have it. Mando, Nihilus, the new Ahsoka's going to have it. I feel like there's one other character that has an Annihilate that I'm forgetting. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the only two characters that have the Annihilate. It might be. But it gets you around Malix. It gets you around stuff in the game that's really hard to beat otherwise. And you need the contract for that. So if you want Mando, you need the contract. If you're saying, okay, I'm just going to build bounty hunters to go in and do a lot of damage and kill, but then what do you kill? You kill Night Sisters, you kill certain resistance teams, First Order teams. It's a good team. You can do stuff with it, but it's not a Galactic Legend killer. I don't think it beats General Skywalker. I don't think it beats a good Beskar Mando team, honestly. Which, as those characters become more accessible, we'll see more Beskar Mando teams in the arena, in Grand Arena. So, yeah, I think to make the Bounty Hunter team worth that level of investment, got to have the Mandalorian. Once you have the Mandalorian, you have to have the contract. That's Aura Singh. And the assists from Bosk and Greef are required. So you've locked in 4 out of your 5 characters just with that. Then you build Django. Because you've already got him, that relic. Okay. So let's see what we got over here. I'm working on Mando and Greef. Okay. Area 501st says Rex. Aiden. What did Aiden ask? Okay. All right. Looks like we're running short on questions. We've been on stream for, holy cow, 2.5 hours already. Oh, man. Time flies. Time flies. We're having fun. We're having all kinds of fun. Is Greef better than Boba? Absolutely. Absolutely. So the thing about Greef, he gets this bring him in cold that's a mass assist. And again, with Aura Singh, he does this. He's going to be buffed because he's in stealth. That counts as a buffed character taking a turn. Once he calls the assist, everybody else doing a basic, they're all going to have buffs. That counts as a buffed character taking a turn. So literally, if you do taunt with Bosk, you do the middle skill with Greef Karga, calls all the assists. You do the net with Bosk, it calls all the assists. Contract done. 3 turns into the game, Bosk, Greef, Bosk again because of Frenzy. Your contract is done, and you're good to go on Mando. So that combo is absolutely how the Bounty Hunter team works if you want Mando's disintegrate. The other thing, Greef has this massive protection recovery. Massive. 25% health and protection, doubled if they have a payout active. So when you play this on offense in Grand Arena, you kill 2 or 3 of their characters, and then right before you finish their team off, you sweeten the deal, get back all your banners. So not only is this a team that's going to be good at taking out whatever it is that you want to take out, and hopefully you guys have seen this before. I've demonstrated this in my Grand Arena streams. You do that Greef Karga, and you end up with a 60 banner win. It's really, it's good from both sides. It's effective at handling a lot of teams, and also it's a max banner team once you win. Yep. Never really thought about that Bounty Hunter team. I always recommend the Bosk lead, but this sounds better. Early game, if you're, again, between 2 million galactic power or less, Bosk lead is fine. Bosk lead's fine. But once you start getting up into higher galactic power, you start facing teams that have 2 tanks, and the Bounty Hunters, even though Boba and Django can go behind, some of the other Bounty Hunters can't. And you end up fighting different characters and the tanks, and it's hard to close in, get your contract. That's the thing. It's just hard to get your contract. Aura Singh just makes it easy to get your contract. And as a character, I got to tell you, my Aura Singh is Relic 5, maybe Relic 3. I don't remember exactly if she's 3 or 5. But I guess I'm looking at her. No, I'm looking at Vader's. I'm sorry. So, yeah, she hits hard. This skill, when she's in stealth, this hits hard. I'm like, I didn't expect her to be anything but a leader to just get the contract going, but I am impressed. And this basic attack that puts a stun on an enemy, man, when I'm trying to do the detonator feat in Conquest, I use that same team we just talked about, Orsing, Bosk, Mando, Grief, and then I put in Zam for the all these detonators. And then this gets more detonators. So that's my detonator team. And the you can just go around with Aura Sing, stun, 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 and hold them down long enough that Zam can put on all the detonators and get you the win. So it's another area where Aura is just like, she's a cool character. Like, I'm shocked. I never would have built her. But after I built her, I'm like, man, that is some good stuff. Good stuff. Darth Loquitur, what levels would you recommend? I just go to 5. I don't know. It's hard for me. It's hard for me not to just relic 5 things, because now they're qualified for the for the Rancor pit, and I've got 4 out of my 5 bounty hunters at relic 5, so I can throw in one more character, a tank or whatever, and get them all in the Rancor pit. So for me, now 5 is just the default. I just put everything at 5 so it can be another team for the Rancor pit. That's just me. If you don't want to commit to that, Grief Karga could probably do fine at lower levels. Boss could definitely go higher. Um, Someday I will relic 7 my boss because he's a great character. I love him. I love his ship. And every relic level makes him harder and harder to deal with. Aura Singh, I like her at 5. Like I said, she's shockingly good with her skill set. So, yeah, I like 5 for all these guys. Grief Cargo you could leave behind. Mando you could leave behind too. I mean, you just have to have him enough that he doesn't die. So as long as you have enough hit points, you're done. Because he's not doing damage. The damage on Mando doesn't matter nearly as much as just making him fast. Using his... which is it? This. He gains turn meter every time he gets a crit. So you just make him fast and make him really, really crit heavy. I'm over 100% crit, I believe. No, okay, 99.85%. But you just want everything to be a crit, and you want him to go real fast, or wherever his order is in how you time your team speed on your team, and then you just annihilate stuff with him. And once he's poofed their best character, then the rest of your team cleans up. I don't know if that helps too much, but Grief and Mando, I would say you could leave it lower. Bosk, you could even take higher. Aura, I like at 5. Django, Boba, I'd take them to 5 because they need to do damage. Running low on relic materials. That's the way it should be, Vader. You should always be restocking your inventory. And people have said that before. You talk about having an inventory of these materials, but my inventory is gone now. Good. That's what inventory is for. You get the inventory, then you use the inventory, and then you restock it. You should always be restocking your inventory. If you ever have, my inventory is too high right now. I feel bad. Look at this. Look how much of this signal data I've got over here. 408 of these things. So I'm feeling like I'm behind on my relics. But that's because I'm working my way toward this Galactic Legend Ray. So I got a bunch of these characters that are like waiting in the wings. And as soon as they hit Gear 12, I'll relic them. So I got a bunch of stuff that's building up in the middle. So I got to set out a lot of relic materials. But yeah, build your inventory, then use it. Get it out of there. You should always be low on relic materials. That means you're playing the game. All right. Well, I hope that was fun. I hope some people learned some stuff from the stream. I'm going to have to hang it up here and get back to building presentations and doing more of my beginner guides for you. I think people want that. So we'll get back to work on that stuff for you. And thank you for your time today. I appreciate you all. You make this fun, like almost 3 hours has gone by in the blink of an eye. It's crazy how fast it goes. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for coming into the stream. Join up on the Discord. Be part of our community if you haven't done that already. We were doing a jam session yesterday, just talking about stuff, and I saw quite a few people just hopped in there and listened in, and I think that's fun. You know, I'm very present in my Discord. I answer questions. I'm over there for people to talk to. So if you want to be part of that community, come on over. I'd love to have you. Thank you all for your time, and I will see you